Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we dive into a story that completely flips the script on what most of us learned in history class. We're talking about who? Really first crossed the Atlantic to the Americas. Forget 1492 and Christopher Columbus for a moment. We need to rewind the clock by about 500 years to an era of fierce warriors, legendary longships, and epic sagas. That's right, we're talking about the Vikings. So, how did these Norse seafarers, hailing from Scandinavia, end up on the shores of North America centuries before anyone else from Europe? The story starts not with a grand plan of discovery, but with a classic Viking thirst for expansion and, let's be honest, a bit of good, old-fashioned luck. It all began with the settlement of Iceland in the late 800s. From there, the famous and notoriously hot-tempered Eric the Red was exiled from Iceland for, well, killing a few people. He sailed west and established a settlement on a vast, icy island he cleverly named Greenland to attract more settlers. It worked. The real breakthrough came from Eric the Red's son, Leif Erikson. Around the year 1000, according to the Icelandic sagas, Leif had tales from another mariner named Bjarni who had been blown off course and spotted a new, unknown land to the west of Greenland. Unlike Bjarni, who didn't bother to land, Leif was intrigued. He bought Bjarni's ship, gathered a crew of about 35 men, and set sail to retrace the route in reverse. Their first stop was a barren, rocky land which Leif named Helgeland, meaning land of flat stones. Historians believe this was likely Baffin Island in modern-day Canada. Not very impressive, so they continued south. Next, they came across a forested land with white sandy beaches. Leif called this Markland, or Land of Forests, which is thought to be the coast of Labrador. It was a promising site, but they pushed on further south. Finally, they reached a place that was lush and green, with rivers teeming with salmon larger than any they had ever seen. The climate was so mild that cattle could graze outside year. Most importantly, they found wild grapes growing in abundance. Leif, ecstatic with his find, named this bountiful paradise Vinland, the land of wine. He and his crew built a small settlement and spent the winter there before sailing back to Greenland with timber and grapes, making a huge profit and earning him the nickname Leif the Lucky. For a long time, these stories from the sagas were dismissed by many as mere folklore or myth, but then, in the 1960s, everything changed. Archaeologists Helgen Anstein Ingsted made a groundbreaking discovery at a place called Lonso Meadows on the northern tip of Newfoundland, Canada. They unearthed the remains of a Norse settlement turf walled houses, a forge for working iron, and artifacts that were unmistakably Viking. Carbon dating confirmed the site was occupied right around the year 1000, perfectly matching the timeline from the sagas. This was the physical proof. The Vikings had made it to North America. So why didn't their settlements last? Unlike Columbus's arrival, which kicked off a wave of European colonization, the Viking presence in Vinland was short-lived, likely lasting only a couple of decades. The sagas tell of conflicts with the native inhabitants, whom the Norse called Skrælings. On top of that, the settlement was thousands of miles from their homeland, making it incredibly difficult to support and defend. Ultimately, it was just too far and too dangerous. They retreated to Greenland, and eventually, the memory of Vinland faded into legend. So, there you have it. Nearly 500 years before Columbus set sail, Leif Erikson and his Viking crew were the first Europeans to set foot in the Americas. It is a powerful reminder that history is often more complex and fascinating than the simplified versions we retaught. What do you think about this incredible chapter of history? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this journey back in time, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more historical deep dives. See you next time.